What's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Quality Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Braxton. Hope you're having a fabulous day. You're having a good hair day. Your eyebrows are snatched. You're feeling joy in the place, and you've taken a walk. And if it's not a time where you can take a walk, I hope you've planned to take a walk today. Anywho, we're going to talk about boundaries, and specifically 3 places to establish boundaries as a trainer so that you can be sane, okay? Because boundaries equals sanity. It equals sanity, okay? So why would we even want to establish boundaries? Well, first and foremost, I personally don't enjoy burnout. And if we've learned nothing from 2021 and 22, is that burnout is a real thing. And it has lasting effects on the body that are ungodly, honestly. So let's just avoid that altogether with boundaries. Secondly, we don't want to feel like you live at the gym. I have been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, don't recommend. So that is another reason. Having no time to learn how to do your craft better, having no time to market yourself or even do your own workouts and practice your own fitness, these are reasons you need to have boundaries. And last but definitely not least, you do not want to feel trapped in a situation with a client that is the definition of a headache. That there's for the birds. So let's set some boundaries. Boundaries in and of itself helps you to, like I said before, maintain a level of sanity, but boundaries also equal power. And I want to talk about 3 places to create boundaries that help you reclaim your power and reinvest that energy and that power into better suited places that really serve you. Because when you are served, you better serve your people. Am I right? So I know some of you are going to need some upfront convincing on this topic because you feel like you just need to give and give and give and give. So here's the thing. When you don't have boundaries, you are tolerating a lot of manipulation. And I don't know about you, but I hate, with a capital H, loathe being manipulated. Okay? Boundaries is defined as when you clearly define what you will and will not do in a given situation. So the purpose of the boundary is to set limits around you will tolerate. Okay, so when you do this, you protect your energy, your sanity, and in turn, it allows you to feel more peace and more joyful and more powerful. Can you tell that boundaries is about power for me? I like power. Power is a wonderful thing. Anyway, getting into these points here, there are 3 places. We're going to start with time. Boundaries around time for yourself. Structure your schedule. Structuring your schedule is a way of creating a boundary. When you want to be in front of clients, structure that into your schedule. Whether that be one-on-one training, semi-private training, small group training, the less time you want to spend in front of your clients, the more you should focus on the options that allows you to train more people at once. This is great if you feel, especially if personal training is a part-time job for you right now and you need to put boundaries around when you can be in the gym because you physically cannot be there outside of that time frame. This is a great place to really condense how often and how many hours you have to be present. And that's just having more people working with you at one time. Another place to structure your schedule when you want to be on the gym floor talking to patrons, like trying to drum up more business within that gym. When you'll be studying for your continuing education, like just because you're certified doesn't mean it's all said and done. Like outside of keeping up your certification, your primary reason for educating yourself, continuing education, so that you can understand the craft and be free of the gym and run your own ship and not be dealing with silliness, which is why I created a membership for you all to start with. Another spot to structure your time and put boundaries around time is when you'll be working on programming. This is huge because I don't know about you, but I used to just stick programming wherever it would fit. So it led to chaos. Like, I didn't make time for it. So scheduling a recurring day or time on your schedule to sit down and focus solely on programming, you can think of it as batching your programming. That is a way of creating a time boundary and structuring your schedule. When you'll be doing your own workouts, you need to structure some boundaries around that. If you know that your best time to work out is right before lunch or right after lunch, build it in. Do not neglect yourself because, oh, I need to get clientele. Clients will work out with you when you are available. And if you set that precedent, that is what will happen. That is a lesson a lot of us learned the hard way. So prioritize yourself first when it comes to your fitness. Remember, you got to put the mask on yourself, the oxygen mask on you before you can help someone else. So create some boundaries around your own fitness. Don't leave yourself to take whatever sloppy seconds of your time that you have left. Structure time around, block time off for when you will strictly have time for yourself, to rest, to play, which is rejuvenation. Resting and rejuvenating are not synonymous. Let's stop using them interchangeably. They are different. Stopping and then filling your cup up are not the same. So you need to structure time or put boundaries around that time so that you can continue to have that for yourself. You can fill your cup up, okay? The next place, this is like an 8-item list, y'all. I'm almost done. The next place is around family and friend time. If you have friends that you love dearly, but they drain your energy because they drain you emotionally, don't put them before a large block of clients or a block of programming. Don't do that, because then you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to show up, or when you show up, it's going to be a half-baked showing up, and we don't like half-baked pies. Cook the whole thing. Okay, so structure around that. And the last place to structure your schedule and create boundaries is when you will focus on your back end, like your systems, your marketing, your business building. This is super important in the beginning days because this can take up all of your time. Next thing you know, you have become a marketer instead of being a personal trainer. So you have to focus when you will be focusing on those things, when you will be working on those things. This boundary, this time boundary, it is one that can get away from us if we're not intentional about it. And so don't take this part lightly. Pull out your planner, whether that's paper or digital, and start blocking things off, or thinking about when you have the most energy for certain things and when you are completely tapped, and schedule your life according to that. Like if you're still in school, or if you have a job, or if you have a family, kids, someone else you care for, if you travel a lot, you have control over your schedule more than you give yourself credit for. So exercise your power by creating boundaries. I think we've covered time. The next thing, it works hand in hand with time, and it's energy. Time boundaries has a lot to do with your energy, if you didn't hear me mention the word before. And the reason I want to talk about energy is because we deal with something called decision fatigue. And that's when we have made so many choices that we are tired of making choices, and our brain can't process which choice is best for us. It's the reason why people like Barack Obama and Steve Jobs used to have what they call like their work uniform, because they didn't want to start their day trying to figure out, what the heck am I going to wear? You know, that's such a tedious thing that we can exhaust so much of our energy into. So what they would do is, like, they just had the same thing they wore every day. They had a uniform. I have a uniform. It's usually leggings, a t-shirt, and some sort of cardigan, especially when I'm in my condo and it's like, no matter how much I turn the heat up, when I'm not moving, I feel like I am an ice block, and I am not a cold-natured person. So take away the decision fatigue. That helps protect your energy. When you protect your energy, you have a boundary around it, things work in your favor. The next thing you can do as far as protecting your energy and creating boundaries around it is identify your energy drainers and your energy boosters. All right, if you are a people person and a thing that boosts your energy is to be around people, it will be cool for you to structure that in to before a time where you're going to be peopleless for a little while. So to give you an example, on Wednesdays, often I sit down and I outline like emails and I outline podcast episodes, and it's just a big block of time where it's just me. So the way I kind of set myself up to win in that situation is I will go to a coffee shop that morning for like an hour or so, and I don't take work with me. I just go in there, talk to barista, talk to the regulars who come in, and I fill my cup up with people for a good 60 to 90 minutes. And then I go sit down in the quiet and I work on the thing that I had planned to do for that day for a certain slotted period of time. I give myself a focused amount of time, and it helps me because I am full of energy to sit down and be alone and focus, do some deep work. And typically when I sit down and I do this like a lot of alone time, heavy thinking stuff, I condense it down to only a couple of hours, because giving myself those mental like bookends helps me to really focus on executing in that specific amount of time and not just be like, oh, I have all afternoon to write this email, and then I would take an entire day to write a 300-word email. Like, y'all, don't be that person. When you realize you're doing that, you're like, crap. I think it's called Parkinson's Law, when it's along the lines of saying that the work will fill the container that it has. So if you give yourself 8 hours to write one email, it'll take 8 hours. But if you gave yourself 30 minutes to write an email, you probably can knock it out in 30 minutes, especially if you already know what you want to say. Okay, so identify your energy boosters and your energy drainers, and put boundaries and structure around those two things. Keep the things that drain you away from the things that you need energy to execute. This includes people. Like, people play into this. Your most draining client, don't put her on Friday. Don't do it, because you will find yourself canceling on her regularly. You will find yourself just going like resentment and anxiety, and just until you get rid of her, because you don't keep dead weight. Don't do it. Don't be someone's savior. Get rid of the hero complex, okay? You will resent that. So you put hard people somewhere in your week where you can handle them on an energy level, on a mental level. You don't want to go into these tough work situations on a tired brain or on an emotionally depleted brain, because you're liable to snap off at somebody, to clap back, and that's unprofessional. This is a customer service relationship-based business. You cannot bring that stuff to the session. So just work accordingly as much as you can, okay? The last place to establish boundaries for this episode is around money. Moolah, them green stacks, okay? One of the places that I teach my trainers inside of Coach Unlocked to do this is around their client contracts. Client contracts that allow you to predict your income specifically. So we're talking 6-month contracts, 12-month contracts, and keeping it at that. Unless you're running a specific time-bound promo, please, y'all, let them 10-session packages die. Just let them go somewhere and go sleep, okay? Because that means your 10-session packages that have no time boundaries on them, and that's the primary thing you offer. You're constantly having to go back and resell yourself. You're constantly have to chase down that client and get them to sign up for another 10 packages. No, we're not doing that. Let that be like your promo offer, and once that's done, in a small amount of time, like you give them a short period of time to get those 10 sessions in. Once that's done, we have to go into contract land now. And that's just how it has to happen. I say it because, again, I've experienced not doing this. And it is so stressful when you don't have boundaries around your money, when you don't know if next month is going to be like you're eating ramen and last month you were eating steak because you did not do the footwork in the beginning, set the boundaries around when people were going to pay you and how much and for how long. Just do it. Okay? If you need help with that, y'all know where I'm at. Come ask. I'll help you. No problem. All right? The last place to work on your money boundary is around your spending plan. People call this a budget. I like to call it a spending plan. Okay? We don't have to fight about the words, but you want to adjust, you want to set a spending plan for yourself, like your overall income and how you're going to use that money, and adjust it based on if your income is above or below the plan that you've made for yourself. So if, let's use round numbers. Say your spending plan says that you need to be bringing in $3,000 to your house every month. This is, after taxes, then you have to work to make that happen. If your income is falling below that, you can see it ahead of time and you can make plans and adjustments to prepare for that. Like, a lot of people go through this whole dead December thing where it's just like, I have no clientele. Well, yeah, and sometimes that happens, but if, you had planned for 6 and 12-month contracts, you would have known probably back in July or August that December is gonna be a little tight if I don't book a couple of more new clients now so they can carry me through the new year and the new wave of clients that are coming in can kind of pick up the slack. You get what I'm saying? So have boundaries around your time, your energy, and your money, and it will pay dividends for years to come in your personal training career. That's all I got for y'all on this one. It's been good. For more information about the Quality Coach podcast or our community Coach Unlocked, which is all about personal trainers, visit jasminebraxton.co. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.